Hey everyone, and welcome back. We're diving deep into crypto today.
Sounds exciting.
It is. Things are getting kind of crazy out there.
Yeah, no kidding.
So to help us understand this craziness, we've got a recent article from Crypto Potato.
Great source.
Yeah, they always have the inside scoop. And get this, the article talks about how $140 billion just vanished from the crypto market.
Poof, just like that.
Gone.
Yeah, that's a huge drop and definitely makes you wonder what's going on.
Right. Like what triggered it? What does it mean for the future of crypto?
Big questions for sure.
So that's what we're going to dig into today.
Should be interesting. This whole thing is especially wild because it happened right after, crypto was doing amazingly well.
Yeah, especially Bitcoin. It hit a new all-time high recently, right?
It did, over $108,000.
Can you imagine?
It's crazy how fast it climbed, too.
The article said it was around 94,400 just a week before.
Yeah, that's a massive jump. Almost too much too fast. And then boom, that $4,000 drop.
Like a roller coaster. I bet anyone who bought at the peak is feeling a little queasy right now.
Probably.
Uh,
But these kinds of corrections are pretty normal after such a rapid climb.
so it's like a natural part of the cycle.
Exactly. When things go up so quickly, there's almost always a pullback. It's like investors get a little nervous at those heights.
And want cash in on those gains.
Yep. Especially the big players, the ones holding a ton of Bitcoin.
Whales, right?
Exactly. And when they start selling it, can create this ripple effect that impacts the whole market.
Wow, so it's not just some random swing. There's actual strategy and psychology at play.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Fascinating. Okay, so we've got this $140 billion drop. To really understand how big that is, we need to talk about the total value of the entire crypto market.
Absolutely. That's where market capitalization comes in.
Market cap. I hear that term thrown around a lot, but help me out here. How do we actually wrap our heads around it, especially when we're talking trillions of dollars?
Okay, so imagine you take all the Bitcoin out there, all the Ethereum, every single coin,
All of them.
every single one, and you add up their value. That total, that's the market cap. It's like a snapshot of the entire crypto market's value at any given moment.
Okay, I think I'm getting it.
And before this correction, the article said the total crypto market cap was almost at $4 trillion.
4 trillion. That's just mind-blowing.
It is. It really shows how big crypto has become.
Yeah.
But then to see a $140 billion drop from that, it's dramatic.
It really is. And what makes a market cap change so much? Is it all because of those whales we talked about?
Well, they definitely play a part, but it's not just them. Think of it like a giant web with all these interconnected threads.
Okay, I like visuals.
So one thread might be Bitcoin's price, influenced by those whales selling off. Another thread could be the overall economy, global events, interest rates, you name it.
Things that impact all markets, not just crypto.
Exactly. And then you've got another thread for regulations. Governments are still figuring out how to approach crypto.
Right, it's still kind of the Wild West out there.
It is. And any new policies or announcements can send shockwaves through the market.
So it's like trying to predict the weather, but with 1,000 different variables.
That's a great way to put it. And it's definitely a lot to consider for anyone who's thinking about investing in crypto.
For sure. You need to understand not just the tech behind crypto, but all these other factors that can impact its value.
It's a complex ecosystem, but I think that's what makes it so fascinating.
Absolutely. Okay, so we've covered Bitcoin's roller coaster ride and the overall market cap. But what about all those other cryptocurrencies?
You mean altcoins?
Right, altcoins. They seem to be popping up everywhere.
They are.
So what exactly are they for anyone who might not know?
Sure. Altcoins are basically any cryptocurrency that's not Bitcoin.
So like Ethereum?
Yep. XRP, Dogecoin, they're all part of this huge and growing altcoin landscape. And just like Bitcoin, they have their own prices and market caps that go up and down.
So if Bitcoin's the big brother, are altcoins, like the younger siblings, always trying to keep up?
Haha, I like that analogy. Yeah, they often mirror Bitcoin's trends, both the ups and the downs. Like the article mentions Ethereum dropping 4% to around 3,850.
Ouch.
And XRP also dipped to something like 2.52.
It's that interconnected web thing again, right?
Exactly. Changes in one part of the market can ripple through the whole ecosystem.
I see. This is all starting to make more sense. But honestly, the more we uncover, the more I realize how complex this crypto world really is.
It is complex, but it's also incredibly exciting.
It is. So what does all this mean for someone who's interested in investing in crypto? All these fluctuations, the interconnectedness.
That's a great question, and one we'll definitely dive deeper into as we continue. But one thing's for sure, while crypto offers huge potential, it's not for the faint of heart.
Meaning,
meaning you need to be prepared for volatility, stay informed, and never invest more than you can afford to lose.
Sound advice. Okay, so we've talked about Bitcoin's wild ride, market cap, altcoins. Now, there's something else I want to touch on. Market sentiment. I've heard this mentioned a few times, but
Okay.
what exactly is it? And how does it affect the crypto market?
Imagine the crypto market is this giant roller coaster.
Love it.
Market sentiment is basically the mood of everyone on that roller coaster. Are they feeling optimistic, excited for the ride to go up? That's bullish sentiment.
Bullish. Got it.
Or are they feeling pessimistic, bracing for a drop? That's bearish sentiment.
Bearish, right. And this collective mood actually impacts how prices move.
It does, big time. If everyone thinks the price is going up, they'll buy more, and that pushes the price up, and vice versa.
So it's kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
In a way, yeah.
Wow. But
Yeah.
how do you actually measure this collective mood? Is there like a crypto mood ring or something?
I wish. Sadly, no mood ring. But there are actually some pretty sophisticated tools traders and analysts use to gauge market sentiment. Some look at social media, analyzing the conversations around specific cryptocurrencies.
Makes sense. What people are saying can really affect things.
Right. Others track trading volume, how much buying and selling is happening. And some even look at the ratio of buy orders to sell orders to see which way the market is leaning.
So it's a mix of data analysis and good old-fashioned human psychology.
Exactly.
But how reliable are these indicators? Can we actually predict the crypto market's mood swings?
That's the million-dollar question. It's not an exact science, and there are always surprises. You have to remember, the crypto market is driven by both rational factors like technology and regulation and irrational ones like fear and greed.
The human element.
Exactly. And that unpredictable human element is what makes it so challenging, but also so exciting.
I'm starting to see that. Okay, we've covered Bitcoin's price swing, market cap, altcoins, even market sentiment. There's just so much to unpack in this crypto world.
And we're just getting started.
I know, right?
It really is. And, speaking of dynamic, remember how we were talking about Bitcoin being the big brother?
And the altcoins trying to keep up.
Yeah, there's actually a term in finance for that, correlation.
Correlation, like from stats class. Does that even apply to crypto?
It does. In this case, it means how closely the price movements of two assets are related. So like a strong positive correlation means they tend to move in the same direction. If Bitcoin goes up, that altcoin probably goes up too.
And if Bitcoin crashes?
Chances are the altcoin will follow suit.
Yeah. So it's not a guarantee, but
It's a pretty strong indicator. Historically, a lot of altcoins have shown that strong positive correlation with Bitcoin. But it's not always a one-to-one thing.
right, because each altcoin is its own thing with its own tech and stuff.
Exactly. It's like assuming all siblings are exactly alike.
Yeah.
They might share some traits, but they each have their own personalities too.
So correlation is a useful tool, but we can't just assume all altcoins will behave the same way.
Exactly. Good point.
This is making me think about something else. Bitcoin dominance. Have you ever heard of that?
Oh, yeah. All the time.
What is it exactly? Is it like a popularity contest for cryptocurrencies?
Kinda. Remember how we talked about the total crypto market cap?
Almost $4 trillion.
Right. Crazy.
Well, Bitcoin dominance is the percentage of that total market cap that Bitcoin makes up.
Okay, so like if Bitcoin makes up half of that 4 trillion, then its dominance is 50%.
Exactly. The article said it's currently around 54%.
So even with all those altcoins out there, Bitcoin's still the king.
For now.
For now, meaning.
Meaning it's been slowly declining over the years.
No, but really?
Yeah. So it suggests that altcoins are gaining traction. They're slowly taking up more of the market share.
But it's hard to say for sure what'll happen in the long run, right?
Absolutely. The crypto landscape is constantly changing, and it's definitely a lot to keep track of.
You're telling me, I mean, for those of us who aren't, crypto experts, where do we even begin?
It's true. There's a lot to learn, but that's what makes it so exciting, too. It's like exploring uncharted territory.
With possibilities and pitfalls, right?
Exactly. I think the key is to approach it with curiosity and a willingness to learn, and always do your research. Good advice. Okay, so we've talked about market corrections, altcoins, Bitcoin dominance. Now there's something else I'm really curious about. NFTs.
NFTs, they're everywhere these days.
They are. From art and music to even, like, tweets being sold as NFTs. It's kind of mind-boggling.
It is.
To be honest, I'm still a bit fuzzy on what they actually are and why everyone's making such a big deal about them.
Yeah, it can be confusing at first. So NFTs stand for non-fungible tokens.
Non-fungible. Okay. Break that down for me.
So fungible means interchangeable, like a
Mm,
dollar bill. One is as good as another.
right.
But non-fungible means unique, one of a kind. Think of it like a digital fingerprint.
So an NFT is basically a digital certificate of authenticity.
Mm.
Like it proves you own something unique in the digital
You
world.
got it.
That's pretty cool.
Mm.
But what makes them valuable? Is it just hype?
There's definitely some hype for sure, but there's also some real substance behind the excitement. You see, NFTs use blockchain
The same
technologies.
tech behind cryptocurrencies.
Yep, exactly. And they use it to create a verifiable record of ownership for digital assets.
So you can actually own a piece of digital content, like
Yeah.
a piece of art or a music track. Not just a copy, but the actual original.
Exactly.
So instead of just having a copy of a digital image, you could own the verified original version.
Yeah,
That's a game changer for digital ownership.
it is.
But is this just for art collectors and gamers? Or do NFTs have other applications?
That's what's so exciting about them. We're really just scratching the surface of what they can do. Think about things like concert tickets, event passes, membership cards, even medical records.
Wow. Okay.
All of these things could be represented and managed as NFTs. It would offer so much more security, transparency, and control.
Those are some pretty big implications.
Yeah.
But let's talk about something else that's been on my mind, the environmental impact of all this. I've heard concerns about the energy consumption of blockchain technology. Is that something we should be worried about?
It's definitely a valid concern, and it's something the crypto community is actively working to address. You're right, some blockchain networks, especially those that use a proof of work system like Bitcoin, they can be pretty energy intensive.
But there are alternatives, right?
There are, like proof of stake, for example. It
Mhm.
requires way less energy, and a lot of newer blockchains are being designed with sustainability in mind from the start. They're using renewable energy, making their algorithms more efficient, even looking into things like carbon offsetting.
So it's a work in progress, but it sounds like they're taking it seriously.
They are. And it's not just about the environmental impact. There's also a big focus on the ethical implications of this technology.
Because it's powerful technology, it needs to be used responsibly.
Exactly. As crypto and blockchain become more integrated into our lives, we need to make sure they're used for good. For everyone, not just a select few.
That's a really important point.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. Market corrections, altcoins, NFTs, even the environmental and ethical considerations. What's next on our crypto journey?
Well, you mentioned being curious about the future of crypto.
Definitely am. What's on the horizon? Anything even bigger than Bitcoin and altcoins?
Maybe. One thing that's gaining a lot of momentum is decentralized finance. DeFi, for short.
DeFi, I've heard that term. But what is it exactly?
It's basically about creating a financial system that's open and accessible to everyone without needing banks or other traditional intermediaries.
So imagine borrowing money without going through a bank.
Exactly. Or lending, investing. It's all about cutting out the middleman.
That's a pretty radical idea.
Yeah.
But is it really possible? Can we actually replace the entire financial system?
It's a big goal, for sure. And there are challenges to overcome. But the pace of innovation in DeFi is incredible. New applications and platforms are popping up all the time.
It's definitely shaking things up, making people rethink the way things work.
It is. And speaking of shaking things up, another trend to watch is how crypto is starting to merge with other technologies, like AI and the metaverse.
Wait, the metaverse? Like those virtual worlds everyone's talking about?
Mhm. Exactly. Imagine virtual worlds where you can own and trade digital assets using crypto. And it's all powered by AI that personalizes your experience.
That sounds like something straight out of science fiction.
Mhm.
But with all this rapid change and innovation, how can anyone keep up?
You're right, it can feel overwhelming. But I think the key is to stay curious, do your research, and don't be afraid to ask questions. There's a lot of hype and misinformation out there, so don't just believe everything you read.
So focus on understanding the tech, the potential uses, and the risks.
Exactly. And remember, this space is constantly evolving, so what's true today might not be true tomorrow.
So it's all about being adaptable and staying informed.
That's the spirit.
This is definitely a wild ride, but it's an exciting one. And it feels like we're just getting started.
We are. The future of crypto is being shaped right now.
It really does feel like we're living in the future sometimes.
I'm all right.
We've covered so much ground in this deep dive, from those crazy market swings and all those different altcoins to, NFTs and even DeFi. It's a lot.
It is.
But I feel like I'm starting to get a handle on things.
That's great to hear.
Yeah, I definitely feel a lot more informed, but also there's still so much more to learn.
There always is. That's the beauty of this space. It's constantly evolving, always something new popping up.
Speaking of new things,
Mm.
remember earlier when I mentioned those concerns about crypto's environmental impact?
Yeah, the energy consumption thing.
Right. A lot of people worried about that.
They are. It's a valid concern. But the crypto community is working on it. There are a lot of efforts underway to make crypto more sustainable.
Like what kinds of things?
Well, for one, there's a big push to move away from those energy-intensive proof-of-work systems, like the one Bitcoin uses.
Towards more efficient alternatives.
Exactly. Like
Okay.
proof of stake, it uses way less energy.
So it's like swapping out the engine for something more eco-friendly.
That's a great analogy. And a lot of these newer blockchains are being built with sustainability in mind from the beginning. They're using renewable energy sources, optimizing their algorithms, and even exploring things like carbon offsetting.
So it's a process. But it sounds like they're taking it seriously.
They are. And it's not just about the environment either. There are a lot of discussions happening around the ethical implications of this technology, too.
Because it's powerful technology, it comes with a responsibility to use it wisely.
Exactly. As crypto and blockchain become more integrated into our lives, we need to make sure they're used for good, for everyone, not just a select few.
That's a really important point. So as we wrap up this deep dive, what's the main thing you hope our listeners take away from all of this?
I think the biggest takeaway is that the crypto world is complex and it's constantly changing. It's full of potential, but also challenges. So it's important to stay curious, do your research, and be open to new ideas.
No, and don't be afraid to ask questions, right?
Never. That's how we learn.
This deep dive has been amazing. We've learned about market trends, altcoins, NFTs, DeFi, even the sustainability and ethical aspects of this whole thing. It's been a wild ride, but in a good way. I feel like I've learned so much,
Me too.
and I'm excited to see what the future holds for crypto.
Me too. It's a fascinating space to watch.
Well said. And that wraps up our deep dive into the world of crypto. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
It's been a pleasure.
Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring.